move on. So I'm going to share my screen here. All right, here we go. Can everyone see my screen all right? Cool, right on. All right, now we're not too past, so let's go ahead and get us started off. So yeah, thanks for joining again. I'm Michael from Justuno. Today we're joined with 9 partners, all from previous episodes of the Holiday Hustle series. We have Evan from Postscript, Amit from Omnisend, Savannah from Shopping Gives, Dan from Loop Returns, Brett from Gatsby, Kelsey from Justuno, Bobby from Mute 6, Chris from Gorgeous, and Ashley from Scubana. So yeah, it's going to be a jam-packed session. We have a ton to talk about and a whole lot of insight to give. So the other quick logistics for this are going to be the recording of this will be sent out tomorrow morning. So if you can't make the full time, or if you want to send it to someone, look out for that email tomorrow morning. Additionally, a lot of this is going to be geared towards the Q&A session afterwards. So answering any last minute questions about Black Friday Cyber Monday, beyond anything you have, throw it in the Q&A box, submit it, or throw it in the chat. Either works just fine. And yeah, I think that's it. So without further ado, Bobby from Mute 6 is going to kick us off. And yeah, let's get it rolling.
Awesome. Thanks for having us, Michael. Everybody, how's everybody doing today? Bobby Baker here from Mute 6. And we're going to really be jumping into how we maintain momentum for 2022. So kind of getting started in here, really starting off, avoid FOMO. The biggest thing is a lot of brands, they want to do everything that every other brand is going to do, and some of the things that are typically done right around this time of the year. So some of the tips for scaling, really, I call this battle of the brands, simply because this is the time of the year where all of the brands are trying to get really their new customers. So we're going to talk a little bit about Q4, really end of Q4 this holiday, and then really transitioning into 2022 and how we can do that best. So number one is time your juiciest offers. So I know we're really focused on a lot of the competition that's coming in during this time. There's going to be crazy offers and different brands making some really exciting offers. And so there's going to be a limited amount of spending cash in the economy. So typically in the beginning of the month and in the middle of the month, that's when people get paid. That's when most of the dollars will be spent. So the brands that win are going to be the ones that are first to market, the ones that are really putting their exciting, their juicy offer in front of everybody before some of the other competition or some of the other brands. Again, there's limited amount of funds in the economy at any given time. And really, the consumers will buy the most exciting offers. So a lot of times brands want to use things that really they're decent offers, but they're not like super exciting. They're not jump out of your chair types of offers. And that's the type of stuff we want to leverage right now, and really as we go into the rest of the year. So consumers will buy products at prices they can't miss. And really the big thing is acquiring early before it's gone, and late after payday. So if you're launching your Black Friday or your one of your juiciest offers November 1st, you'll be early. If you're launching it November 14th, you're on time, and November 27th, you're late. And so we used to always say in sports, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. So really that's how we want to approach this and make sure we're taking advantage of that. And one thing to also note there is, say just for example, you have a 30, 35, 40% off site-wide offer that you want to do for Black Friday. So you wouldn't necessarily want to launch that offer on November 1st. Ideally, you can kind of lead up to that, to where the first 14 days of the month, November 1st to 14th, you're doing something maybe 20% off of a specific product, or 30%, 35% off of a specific product. And then the second half of November, that's when you really start to really roll out your juiciest offers. Now you roll out your 40%. So really about strategically placing those offers at the right time so that you can really pick up a lot of new offers. And so some people mention, some people are like, hey, well, what if consumers buy that first offer and then they see the second one? Great, that's an opportunity for them to buy more. And then we have some strategies that we can use as far as just excluding past customers or excluding some of our remarketing audience if we are worried about that. And then jumping into tip 2, really, this is a time to prep for 2022 engagement. So this is where we talk about really maintaining a lot of that new customer growth that we've already pretty much had during Q4. And so Q1 is typically slow unless you're a health or fitness brand gearing up for that new year, new you timing. That's always really big for those types of brands. But for most brands, it's actually a slower period. So brands really will have to craft new and exciting offers. And this doesn't mean that you have to have X amount off of your product or your service. It really just means that you have to find cooler ways to get your audiences excited. And so really the ways that we like to do that, 4 really cool ways I think that always work really well, really any time of the year, but primarily for the beginning and intro of 2022. So one of those is giveaways, really leveraging, you guys have probably seen some of these on social or through some other brands, and really making sure that we're giving people an opportunity to really get our product for free, essentially, just by taking a couple tasks. And this is a really great way to build engagement. You get people tagging other people, you get comments and shares and all this other stuff. So it really does well for giveaways. And then also challenges. I love doing challenges as well. This is the type of stuff that you can do and really craft it to your brand, right? So if you're a candle brand, you may do something along the lines of, what's your favorite scent? And within that challenge, people start to post pictures, they tag or hashtag whatever your brand is or whatever, find your scent. And now you're actually able to leverage that concept, leverage that content and those great fans that have already shown a lot of love and engagement for your brand. And then the last 2, one is partnerships. And this is really just collaborating with other brands that may have other good messages, other good products and things that you can actually collaborate with. And that will really help you guys really streamline new conversions that may come from that brand specific or that partnership specifically, but it may also be an opportunity for you to juice up your offer. So if you're a fitness brand and you're selling, workout bands or workout equipment, you may pair with a supplement company that can actually, kind of work in tandem with your core audience. And then lastly, referrals and affiliates. This is just another opportunity to acquire more customers from some of your existing customers or from other affiliate types of individuals. And a lot of times this can allow us to avoid some of the, the paid media that you might have to actually go after, but give you a chance to really just create a web effect. And the last thing I got for you guys here is really appeals. So one of the biggest things is while we're crafting messages for Black Friday or for post Q4, really Q1, we want to make sure that we're tapping into both areas of the brand and both areas of any individual. And so you can go ahead and click once or twice more here. Michael, thanks. So on the left, on one side of it, you have the left brain, other side you have right brain, right? 45% of the world is left brain, 45% of the world is right brain, and 10% is both. So instead of crafting messages that are heavy logic focused and really focused on that, or really just creative or storytelling type of messaging or creative, we want to really bring both worlds together and try to communicate to 100% of the world. We want to really bring things in that actually, has the facts, has the numbers that people that are more predominantly left brain will resonate with. You want to bring some of that in with more of this maybe storytelling sort of feel, or really adding a little bit more creativity to the mix. You can go ahead and click one more, Michael. Cool. Yeah, animation is a little bit slow today, but really at the end of it, it all comes down to just making sure that we're leveraging, a different consolidated approach and tapping into that left brain, that right brain, and really bringing both worlds together to really communicate with everyone that could potentially be a good fit for the brand. So go ahead and hit the next slide, please, Michael. Awesome. So this is the last slide here. We're going to open it up for the next team to chat. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to info@mu6.com. We can put together a free audit for you guys and help you understand which channels could be good for your brand and which ones may not be a good fit. We're pretty straightforward in that stuff. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bobby. That was awesome. Yeah, big shout out to that. Yeah, so Yeah, if you have any questions for Bobby or Meet6 in particular, throw them in the chat. For any larger questions, I'm going to save this for the end. So Casey, I will get to that question, but I think it's a really good question that some other panelists could touch on as well. So next up is Skubana, and then is Ashley. So take it away, Ashley.
Thank you, Michael. So quick refresher for anyone. Skubana is a cloud-based platform. So we handle order routing, accounting, shipping, and inventory management through our automation tools. So I'll be talking about adapting with automation. And then just touching super quickly on current e-commerce and supply chain trends. As we know, e-commerce is continuing to grow and boom. As a result, there's massive shipping bottlenecks. So last week, I think as many as 500,000 shipping containers were waiting to be offloaded just from LA and Long Beach. So just highlighting the relevancy of my first tip, which is staying operationally nimble. So I think, year over year, we couldn't do it this year. And I also would say going into 2022, I wouldn't recommend that either. It's important that you can adjust your inventory system to accommodate not only, for seasonality that comes with Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the holidays, but just, the current world events and trends we're seeing, the ones we can't see yet. So just making sure that you're thinking strategically and changing any inventory rules you have to take into account, delivery delays, your competition running out of stock. And then, like I spoke about, limited shipping container capacity. I've even heard of different warehouses and brands trying to get capacity on planes and, going from the ground or from the sea to the sky. And that's also the prices are skyrocketing. So, some good strategic thinking, but also I think a lot of people are adapting that way as well. And then that brings me to my second tip, which is making sure you utilize a flexible network. I think it's, convenient for sure to start with a do-it-all system, but at the end of the day, you want to be able to pick software based on your business needs specifically. You can't be the best at everything. I think we all know that by now. You want the expert in, each area of e-commerce you're looking to grow in. So what this means is when it comes to choosing a 3PL or warehouse, it's shipping and fulfillment is the biggest cost line item. So they have your inventory. That relationship is absolutely critical. So being able to expand when necessary. Let's say you get all of your new customers from Black Friday, Cyber Monday are on the West Coast, and you only have one warehouse, and your current 3PL is in a closed system. You can't reach those customers quickly. That's going to be a problem for you. But if you have a flexible network, you can easily add another warehouse and reach those customers in the 2-day delivery that they expect, thanks to Amazon. And then also we have a customer, the last object, who was super focused on sustainability. Gen Z also really into sustainability. So going into 2022, I know a lot of brands are starting to see this trend and be like, all right, let's tap into that demographic. So being able to optimize, again, better 3PLs, it cuts the shipping time, packaging, all of those things are considered when choosing that partnership. And then I will leave you all with a early gift. If you pick a time with the link, which I'll throw in the chat because I know that's the tiniest font, we'll chat with you and give you a $50 gift card. So yeah, thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ashley. Yeah, please take advantage of that $50 gift card, please. Get yourself an early gift. And one thing I thought about when you said the LA shipping containers is the last year, the Panama Canal, when that ship got stuck. I can't help but think about that and something about like was it $10 million every second or minute or something that it was stuck there, just something incredible like that. So yeah, thank you, Ashley, very much. So without further ado, let's go on to our next speaker. And that is Amit. Take it away.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks everyone for joining us. So for those of you, quick introduction about OmniSend. We are a marketing automation platform designed to help e-commerce retailers utilize email, SMS, web push notification within our platform. And for holiday tips, Michael, if we go to the next slide, wanted to share with you guys. I know for most of us who are attending, we already have automation set up for, already in our business. But during the fall months, let's say like October, this is a good opportunity for you guys to really start testing and really start amassing holiday specific marketing automations. So if you aren't using automations, wanted to share this one stat with you. From an OmniSend side, we saw that automations generated about 29% of all email orders while in 2020, while only making up about 2% of all email sends. So I know for a lot of us, we spend a lot of times building out that individual campaign that we're going to send out like every Thursday or Wednesday, but really start utilizing automations, because even though they only make up about 2% of overall email sends, they're pretty strong for a business from an e-commerce perspective, from a sales perspective. So I think the other thing you just want to look at on the right-hand side when we look on Black Friday 2020, what we can see from a status standpoint is that the Welcome Series nearly earned about a 75% conversion rate. So really, it's pretty clear because most e-commerce sites are seeing more traffic to their sites. So I think with Welcome Series, it's the first time you're going to have a really an opportunity to interact with that customer, getting them to know about the brand. You can also entice them with maybe leveraging a first purchase incentive or discount through a happy holiday email. The next one you'll see there is cart abandonment. So again, I know most of us have cart abandonment set up, but cart abandonment is a great opportunity for you guys to recover revenue. About 59% of conversion rates happened on Black Friday and Cyber Monday when it came to sharpen cart abandonment. So definitely try to hone in on that messaging from that standpoint and how many emails you're going to send out to that customer to retrieve that lost cart. One thing I wanted to share with you guys is also that post-purchase communication. So those are really great for nurturing your customer's relationship and really encouraging additional sales. So both during and after the holiday season. So if you don't have those set up, I think it's a good opportunity for you guys to do post-purchase. It's a prime spot to do cross-selling as well for you guys. So again, really great automations are really going to make a successful holiday season. If we can go to the next slide, Michael, because I want to be respectful of time. One tip you can start in the holiday season, but also you can carry on in 2022 for you guys, is we all know that the e-commerce space is cluttered, right? It's an intensive competitive field. So I think especially during the holidays and even after the holidays, really highlight what makes your business stand out. So whether that would be additional value add. So that could be whether that's in the automated form or promotional form, really highlight the features that you have that maybe your competitors don't, like free shipping, or maybe talking about curbside pickup, or maybe extended and hassle-free return policies, live chat, or 24/7 support. So I think that's really, really important as you try to build a relationship with your customers to really highlight what makes you unique in the marketplace. So therefore they continue to not only make one purchase, but they can also expect what future purchases will look like. But that's really all I have on my end, but I just wanted to say thank you guys. And if you're interested in learning more about OmniSend, feel free to shoot me an email, but our offer is a 30% off for the next 3 months.
Awesome. Thank you, Amit. That was great. Yeah, big fan of, actually, I know welcome emails actually get me more often than not, now that I'm thinking about it. So that's really cool. All right, so moving along. Next up is Dan from Loop, and I have a quick poll to launch for him, and he can kick us off.
Thanks, Michael, and thanks so much for everyone attending today. A lot of great partners, learned a lot myself. Loop returns. It's just a fun poll that we just share with you guys. As we head into the busy season, everyone is familiar that there's going to be a lot of sales happening. Most brands and customers don't look to returns as something that is, top of mind, but unfortunately, when you get the wrong size because your aunt sent you the let's say a wrong t-shirt or a wrong sweater, maybe that happens every year. For me, it does. It it is an unfortunate circumstance, but you know, every customer has to go through this. So would love to understand, you know, in the last or the poll is here. So we see a lot of attendees have returned stuff over the last year, 4+ times. So yeah, it's quite the experience for everybody. For someone who is not familiar with Loop, Loop's a returns platform, and we help scaling Shopify brands push more of the returns to favorable outcomes. So if everyone's familiar with the return and have gone through, as we are all consumers at the end of the day, returns don't always need to be a refund. What a refund is collecting the payment that you gave to the brand and returning the product that you bought. Of course, there are other outcomes maybe you're familiar with, such as an exchange. So majority of the times, customers just bought the wrong size or style. So how do you get that customer the right products? And as well, there is store credit. So that is, you know, customers, they purchase a product, maybe the timing wasn't right, they want to return it, but they still want to hold a credit with your store, come back and shop with that brand again. So when we see with returns during the holiday season, what's interesting is return rates go up. Of course, sales go up, and that's natural that return rates will go up. Over the last 3 years, our data has suggested and told us that return rates are actually increasing by 31% compared to the average return rate outside of those months of between mid-November to mid-January. So we have a couple tips for you folks here today. Of course, I mentioned returns, and a lot of the times it's a blind spot in a brand's return policy. For literally 1/4 of the year, the customers that are going to be buying your products are not usually going to be the ones that are going to be using them or wearing them. And so you need to understand and have a strategy that really aligns with that shift in shopping behavior. So the 2 tips that we'll provide today are quite simple. One is just make that gift exchange easy, to make it a simple process. Like I mentioned, we're all consumers. My aunt literally every year gets me the wrong size clothing, and I keep telling her, aunt, just give me a gift card. I'd really love to just purchase my own products so that I don't go through this hassle. If you can allow customers like myself, if you're in that position, to be in the driver's seat. Let's say you got the wrong size shirt, you still love the brand, you want to come back and exchange, make that process easy. So what I say by making it easy is giving the gift recipient the ability to initiate an exchange by themselves, allowing them to change their address to get the new product back to them. And, you know, throughout that exchange process, allow them to immediately exchange, not having to wait to get their refund and then repurchase. And, you know, by doing that process, you'll experience as a brand fewer refunds. You'll collect and retain more of those customers. Most importantly, those customers are typically going to be first-time customers, and just create a favorable experience for everyone. So it's really a win-win-win. In addition to just making gift exchanges easier, one really simple tip and will help you push more of those refunds into exchanges this holiday season is going to be offering free shipping on exchanges. So as a customer, as you're going through and reading the return policy, you can see that a refund, maybe, you know, you have to pay for your shipping label. If you offer this, you know, small carrot, if you could call that, to a customer, that could be enough to really persuade them to stay with the brand, maybe select a product that they didn't see the first time go around, and choose an exchange. And of course, that's going to encourage them to opt for not a refund. And at the end of the day, you're selecting and retaining more revenue. So of course, free shipping, that's a thank you for their loyalty. And when paired nicely with just an easy process, it's a win-win-win. So Michael, if you want to just go to the next slide there, and I provided a couple screenshots of our platform. So Allbirds is one of our merchants. Within the returns portal, typically you're going to find that within the return policy page, and it's a subdomain. And as you access the portal, of course, these gift recipients, they didn't make that purchase on your Shopify store or whatever store you're on. So you're going to need to make sure that they're, one, going to be able to easily access the return by having a gift recipient option. If you see at the bottom there, and then they can easily adjust their address so that the new product's coming back. And then lastly, if they're wanting to exchange for a completely different product or just a different variant, you have that ability to do so. So lots of things to think about in today's presentation, but I just wanted to wrap things up by saying we're here to help and support and come dive a little bit deeper into this process. So we are giving away 1 month free on a new contract. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat here, but as well, you can always contact me. I'll leave my email in the comments below. But thanks so much, Michael, and passing it back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, returns are the one aspect I, well, only recently have started to seriously or consider more often for brands, because before it's one of those crucial things, but yeah, just something that never quite occurred to me when I was selling things online until it needed to happen. So yeah, that was great. So yeah, moving along. Next up, we have Gorgeous. So Chris, take it away.
Cool. Can you hear me, Michael?
Yep, all good.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks, Michael, and thanks, Justuno, for another great event. Really enjoyed the last episode of this event, and also congrats on your new website launch. It's looking really crisp. So I just want to give that a shout out.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, no problem. Cool. So yeah, so my title today for this talk is Get More by Doing Less, and hopefully that'll become obvious as I go through. So we'll get to the first slide here. So quickly, for those who aren't familiar with Gorgeous, we're a customer support help desk. We power all of the communications that you might have with the customer, via your website, via live chat, social media moderation, SMS, etc. So we have great integrations with all those different channels. We make it easy for you to deliver exceptional customer experience. And so for this presentation, I really want to focus on, how for the upcoming BFCM and holiday season, you can focus less on repetitive questions like where is my order, which takes up a ton of time for you to actually resolve if you're not using a powerful tool. And then instead of focusing on that so much, free up your bandwidth to focus on pre-purchase opportunities. So I'll dive in here. And so on the left side, I'm talking about, the fact that drowning in WSMO, which is where is my order, inquiries really leaves a little bandwidth to focus on pre-purchase opportunities from an engagement standpoint. And so if we consider the fact that 25 to 40% of your entire support volume is strictly related to where is my order inquiries, which I'm sure brands with us can relate to, it takes a ton of time for you to say switch tabs, go into your Shopify account, look up that customer, get the information, and then type out an email response. That's not scalable, and it's not ideal for you or your customer. That's going to take up a ton of time. And how this manifests and the result of that is upset customers due to high first response times, high resolution times, poor retention, and poor customer satisfaction. And so what we want to do is we want to say, okay, let's automate and deflect as much of that WSMO volume and really start focusing on pre-purchase opportunities. And that's what takes me to the side here on the right, leveraging live chat, for instance. And so just to give you a glimpse of where we're going to head with this talk is trying to drive as much traffic to your website as possible, which is obvious, but then having something like a live chat, which is one of our Gorgeous features, ready to go. So instead of your support agents focusing on post-purchase inquiries, they're actually there to engage for pre-sale opportunities, which actually, as you'll see in the next slide, takes up 10 to 15%. And if you're failing to leverage live chat to drive these purchases, you're really, what this means for you is you're missing out on huge sales opportunities. So the key there is to deliver fast response times. So you go to the next slide, Michael. This will all make a lot more sense here on the next slide. So what we're showing here is we've analyzed hundreds of thousands of Gorgeous tickets to understand what are the most commonly asked questions. And so this is a pretty representative breakdown of a typical D2C brand's support volume, and I'm putting support in quotations, because as you can see, order status is taking up the majority here, 1/3 of your entire volume. But the categories that I've highlighted in blue boxes, product availability, product suggestion, product question, pre-order question, well, these are pre-purchase inquiries that are being disguised or masked as post-purchase support volume. And when you spend so much time doing repetitive tasks like getting an order status, you're not getting to these questions, which although they seem like in small percentage points, cumulatively, as you start doing 1,000, 10,000, and even 25,000 tickets per month or customer inquiries per month, you can imagine that this adds up to a big opportunity. So if you simply just multiply your ticket volume each month by these percentage points, which is 10 to 15%, multiplied by your average order volume, then that will paint the picture for how big an opportunity it is. So that's really the big takeaway. So it's really important for you to understand your support volume and understand what you can automate. So if you go to the last slide here, just to highlight a really powerful feature that we've recently released with Gorgeous in the past few months here, is this idea of a self-serve portal essentially. And so when you go on a website like hellotissue.com, which is a fantastic bidet company of ours, what you'll first engage with on the bottom right of the screen is this little widget, which shows up just like this. By putting in your email or your SMS number or your order ID, it will give you the ability to either track, return, cancel, or report an issue with an order, which is now giving the customer all of the power. This isn't even just automating support volume. This is actually just deflecting it from happening in the first place. So this is an easy way to have customers get answers to repetitive questions themselves. Now you can free up bandwidth for your support team to put their sales hat on and be there to engage via live chat. And so, we're really excited about this feature. It's really timely. And so if you want to go to the next slide, Michael, just to wrap up, we are offering anyone tuned in with us today, if you pay for your first month, you're going to get your next 2 months free. And there's plenty of time leading into BFCM to trial Gorgias and get set up. So yeah, I want to thank the organizers. Thank you, Michael, for hosting, and yeah, excited to keep learning more from the partners.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much, Chris. That was great. And Chris, actually, quick question from the audience. I think you're the most, yeah, you can definitely answer this one, but Angelique wants to know, how can we understand support volume for SEO? Their goal is to share the importance of SEO to the customer service section of their site. So Angelique, feel free to elaborate in there, but I think just wanting to know about SEO and customer service.
Yeah, great question. I'm dropping my email in the chat. That's something that we're thinking a lot about and have a lot to say about that. So yeah, Angelique, you can just hit me up via email. Happy to chat about that.
Awesome. All right. Next up is Evan from Postscript. So take it away, Evan.
Hey, Michael. Yeah, thanks for hosting this. It's a fantastic event and a great way to sort of wrap up the 4-part series here. For those of you who don't know, Postscript is a SMS marketing platform for Shopify stores. So we really focus on making sure that you can sort of get the highest ROI out of this new channel that's really becoming more and more important to merchants as we're sort of seeing a lot of these privacy updates happen through other channels and as we sort of have to diversify how we're acquiring and retaining customers. Today, what I'm really focused on is understanding how we can actually set merchants up for success post BFCM. So obviously BFCM weekend is going to be the biggest time of year for you. And the main goal is to drive as much revenue as possible, make sure that you're sort of hitting those targets and those numbers. And what we really sort of wanted to sort of take a step back and assess was at a higher level, how can we make sure that the holiday season is a massive success for these merchants and for you guys and not just BFCM. And so the first sort of major tip that we thought about was making sure that you're actually incentivizing list growth. So you're going to get this massive influx of traffic to the website. These are people who are going to be extremely high intent. They're looking to purchase. And Bobby made a great point. There's only a limited wallet share for this weekend, right? And so if we're assuming that there's a limited wallet share, but someone's still interested, the best thing that you can do is actually get their information, whether that's obviously phone number or email, to make sure that we're sort of keeping them within your marketing funnel and not just assuming that it is Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or bust. There's going to be times over sort of, especially that early part of December, where if you have a bigger list, it's going to really set you up to be successful for that time of the year and that period, not just BFCM. So one of the tricks that we've sort of used and tools that we've used is making sure that you can actually provide an additional discount if someone signs up for email or SMS. So that could be a gift with purchase if someone signs up for your SMS list. That could be maybe you have a 25% off site-wide. If they sign up for SMS, you now give them 30% off site-wide. So you're still providing them with that discount if they don't sign up for your list, but you want to make sure that you're sort of gathering that first-party data, that information that you can then go and communicate directly with them. And sort of the second part, once you grow this list, which is this great marketing asset that you've developed, is making sure that you actually automate your holiday marketing. So what that really means is making sure that you're thinking specifically about talking to your customers specific for the holiday season. So it could be setting up a different welcome series that has 2 to 3 parts that is only for people who signed up during BFCM or during that 2-week period. So you can talk to them differently. Maybe it's a different post-purchase text that goes out a week or two after, because when they were buying from you that first time, they had sort of one frame and maybe they were buying for themselves, but suddenly they didn't need a gift for their brother or for their sister. And I know I've been in a situation where I thought I did my holiday shopping on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but the first 2 weeks of December, I had to spend a lot of money to sort of fill in those gaps. So there is always this time where, especially if you collect that sort of that first party, that information, you have that direct contact with them on SMS, that you can set up all of these specific automations that Amit had a really great point about, and tailor them and tailor the messaging for that customer that they signed up during that time, to make sure that you sort of make the most out of that full season, rather than just sort of the 4 days or the week that you're doing that massive sale. And you want to go to the next slide, Michael? And obviously, a big thing about list growth isn't just sort of collecting numbers at checkout. It's actually about sort of having a great pop-up as well. So wanted to just highlight this. This is a great part of our partnership with Justuno here, where we actually have ready to use pop-ups that are within the templates of their platform that have SMS and email. So if you're looking to grow your SMS list, you have a really easy way to do it that's compliant, that's 2 steps, and is going to make sure that you can actually increase your revenue for the entire sort of holiday season here, rather than just the 1 week or the 4 days during BFCM. And if you're looking for an offer, what we're doing for anyone who joins this webinar is a 60-day free trial. I'll post my email in this chat here. It's just to send me an email if we can get that conversation started. But if you sort of opt in now and come onto Postscript to make that change, 60-day freeze brings you up to post BFCM. So it's a great time to sort of start with this channel that is really providing sort of an outsized impact for a bunch of our merchants. Thanks.
Awesome. That was great, Evan. Very quick, concise, and snappy. And I really appreciate that. Shout out to Justuno. That was an unpaid shout out, by the way, just for full clarity. Thank you very much, Evan. Yeah, and please take advantage of the 60-day free trial. If you're not using SMS, please hop on that like right now. Yeah, Evan will be sharing his email in the chat. So moving on. Next up, we have Brett from Gatsby. I have a quick poll I'm going to launch, and then Brett, if you want to take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Michael, and Evan, nice presentation. Everybody else ahead of me too. I'm actually going to probably call out Amit and Chris from Omnisend and Gorgeous during this quick session. But let's go ahead and start off first with a quick poll. I'm interested in knowing which of these platforms your company is most interested in or most focused in for next year when it comes to acquiring consumers. So where do you think you'll find your most customers next year?
I'm going to give them a few more seconds to come on in. All right. Alrighty.
Awesome. Very cool. Okay, so we actually have a ton of functionality for Instagram in Gatsby, and then TikTok is coming out this month. Super stoked on that. So just good to know for us as well, and I'll be able to touch on this in our next few minutes here with Gatsby. Those of you that don't know what Gatsby is, we are a partner here in the Shopify space, but also even non-Shopify customers can use us. And just like you heard about from the previous presenters, like Amit and others, capturing email, capturing phone number, super popular and important aspects to grow your business. I think Amit said like 30% of your revenue right now is going to come from email. Well, with Gatsby, we pioneered another capture point or another data capture, and that's Instagram handle or social handle. So alongside capturing email and capturing phone number, with Gatsby installed, you can now capture Instagram handle as well. And we provide insights on that. And then we sync those insights with the rest of the tools you're using, like Omnisend, Klaviyo, Gorgeous, Yotpo. So you can actually automate influencer marketing directly with your customers through the tools you already use, like the ones that I just mentioned. So our number one tip going into the end of this year and early next is to spend 5 minutes starting to collect Instagram handles with the holiday traffic you have right now. We actually have a GIF right now showing you how to do this on your Shopify post-purchase page using a Klaviyo form. It's very similar with other forms as well. But just go ahead and after somebody checks out, ask them to provide their Instagram handle right here. And you can do the Justuno forms, any of the forms you're already using, we can make it work. And you can see here, once somebody checks out, they can give you their Instagram handle like that. This is super powerful information that you can use during BFCM to identify influencers you want to work with to promote your holiday campaign. And then into next year, build more complexity around this strategy. So you can do things like incentivize customers who have purchased a previous product from you to go and promote a new release in that line, right? Or build complexity around, hey, if you mention my brand within the next 30 days, twice or 3 times, you get this code. Mention us 5 times, you get this incentive. So the idea is that it's making it much easier to scale influencer marketing. Go ahead and go to the next slide here, Michael. So just to show you a quick visual of what this could look like using a Klaviyo flow. And again, we'll actually clone this flow over for you. We have them for Klaviyo as well as for OmniSend. When a customer of yours mentions you on Instagram, you can trigger an entirely automated workflow to reward them for that mention. And I'm showing you here an example, like if somebody has between 1 follower and 500 followers, they'll receive this email with this offer, or this email with this reward for thanking them for their mention, and so on, between 500 and 2,000, and so on. So again, the idea here is just put in place a few quick automations using the partners already on this call to automate your influencer marketing. So with that, I'm going to let you guys get a quick offer here. This is a special offer that we don't put out very much. Again, actually, I'm the founder of this company, Gatsby, and so I'm happy to work with anybody directly on any questions you have. But we are offering right now 30% off your first 3 months on our business or plus plans. And this is good through the end of October to start this. So go ahead and just email me. I'll put my email in the chat widget, and we'll get you hooked up with this offer. Any questions at all, please let me know in chat. And I see here one from Amber.
Yeah, go for it, Brett.
Okay, cool. So the conditional split is one of the best parts about all this is inside of Klaviyo or OmniSend, you can create different triggers. So if one of your customers has between, let me just see here the rest of the question. You have criteria of a number of Instagram followers, but are the followers less than that? No, okay, great question. So Amber, the Instagram followers and their bio and how many posts they've done, and when they mention you on Instagram, all that data will flow automatically into Klaviyo. They'll be automatically segmented and put into the right flows. So with 5, I actually had an onboarding call with a customer just before this call, from start to finish, 30 minutes, to add the form and sync that data to Klaviyo or OmniSend. So you can automatically trigger those flows and segment the conditional splits out of the gate. Here's my email address, everybody. Give me an email if you want to hop on a call. I'll also give you a customer service manager as well. So the two of us will be there to help you. And thank you, Michael, for the opportunity to speak today, and everybody on the call. Great stuff.
Yeah, no, great stuff, Brett. That was awesome. Good question too, from Amber. Good question. So moving right along, we're about 15 minutes to the hour. So without further ado, Savannah from Shopping Gives.
Thank you so much, Michael. Hi, everybody. I hope you've been enjoying so far. My name is Savannah. I'm the head of partner success at Shopping Gives. And if we're new to you, we are a social impact commerce platform that enables brands to give back. And to keep it as simple as possible, we make it easy for you to do good so you can focus on the impact you're making instead of how you're going to make impact. So we can jump to the next slide. In terms of what we're expecting to see for holiday and beyond, consumers are now asking that their brands that they support do more than turn a profit. And that's no longer kind of a nice to have for retailers. It's really a requirement for success in today's time. Gen Zs and millennials really are looking for impact in every brand that they support. And we've seen that brands that do have a donation or giving piece are more successful and have customers that come back to spend more and come back more often. Through Cyber Week, giving also provides you as a differentiator to other brands that are going to be also discounting at the same time. So if you and a close competitor are both giving 50% off, your customer would likely go with the one that's donating. So hopefully you'll be the one that's doing that. Looking at this Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I always say BCFM instead of BFCM. So use this as a barometer to mark your giving for the rest of the year next year. So how can you leverage these important giving days to identify what's important to your customer and then use that in your ongoing giving strategy? Our 2 tips for that is first, that engagement counts. So similar to what Bobby was saying before, you really want to bring this messaging to your customer as early as you can. So don't just wait until Giving Tuesday to say, oh, and by the way, we give, because your customers are going to be coming off spending a bunch of money on Black Friday and Cyber Monday as well. So if giving is important to them, they're going to want to know to expect it. As well as on the day, make sure that your giving is front and center for your customers so you can drive engagement with any sort of giving activation that requires them to click or change something on site. So you can see it in the example. That's our partner Margot. They were giving at checkout, but they mentioned right on the homepage that 5% is going to the Lower East Side Girls Club. If the homepage is expensive real estate, an eyebrow banner is also great. Footers in your emails and email calling out that the giving strategy is going to be happening on this day are also really helpful ways to get that messaging up. And then on the doing well side, so like I mentioned, customers are going to spend more with you when they see that they're donating. And you can see from this chart that even during peak holiday discounting, the customers on that purple line, that average order with donations was still higher than average order value without donations. So if you can include your customers' input in your giving as well, they're going to spend more money too. A great way to do this is actually to open up the search bar. So if we go to the next slide, with Shopping Gives, you're able to support any 501c3 that's in good standing within the US. So what this would look like on a website, this is an example from our partners, White and Warren. When a customer hits that select button, it opens up a choose modal and they can pick any nonprofit that they would like to support. From a brand perspective, that means you're saying to your guest, we care about what you care about. We want you to shop your values, choose a cause, and we'll donate at no extra cost to you. But then you get those insights to see what percentage of your customers are choosing, and also are they spending more? How is their spending in comparison? And then to use that for your future activations, you can also see by category what nonprofits your customers care about. So if 20% of your customers are choosing their own cause, and 15% of that 20 is giving to animal rights causes, maybe you know that you want to do some sort of activation around that. If they're all giving to LGBTQ causes, maybe you need to focus your pride messaging outside of June as well. So use the information that you get now in order to power your future giving activations into 2022. And especially when you have a big day like Giving Tuesday to highlight giving, it's a really great opportunity for brands to do so. Going to the next slide, we do have an offer for you guys. It's not on here. I'm sure Ben will put it in the chat, but for anyone interested, we are offering 15% off an annual plan. To activate on that, you can send us an email and we'll get you going. But if anyone has any questions or would like a second set of eyes on their giving campaign, we're happy to lend an eyeball.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Savannah. That was awesome.
Of course.
Really cool stat about how the higher AOV across the board for donations. I didn't know that. That's super cool.
Mhm.
Great. So next up, so yeah, last but not least, Kelsey from Justuno will be taking it away.
Awesome. Thank you. So if you go to the next slide, we're just going to be going over some best practices for your Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend. Reminder to keep it simple. Make sure that if you can, have your coupon codes auto apply rather than a clicked copy function. Make sure you have clear shipping information. We've had other partners already talk about this in length, so I'm not going to say very much other than all major carriers right now are saying to expect delays. So make sure that all of your information is clear. This is great use for a banner or for an checkout experience pop-up like a corner. Your product recommendations are very powerful. If you don't have any yet, I do suggest you start looking into those. Last year, we saw that they had a 37.5 conversion rate and actually helped increase average order value overall per purchase. Site-wide banners, these are great. I did put on here that promotions with coupon codes, the engagements decreased by 33.7% in comparison to those that had them automatically applied. The reason I put that there is because if you do use a coupon code and that's something that you don't have a choice for, make sure that you're having a banner follow your visitor throughout their experience. So that way they always know what the coupon code is and where to access it. Countdown timers, we saw that they had an average order value of $163 last year. So if you're going to have your sale structured around like a countdown time or a specific day of when it's going to end, make sure you add a countdown timer. We always suggest you don't use them for over 48 hours because they kind of backfire. The idea of countdown timers is to increase urgency. And if you have them set for like a week, you're actually decreasing. Non-centered promotions, we actually saw in 2020 side promotions converted at 25.5% in comparison to the center promotions, which converted much lower. So if you have the opportunity, try side promotions. Another great thing to use with those is tabs, so people can reopen promotions at any time. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, don'ts. A/B test. Holiday shoppers are not your usual traffic. They're not going to be the people who are on your site. So if you do run any A/B tests, they're only going to apply to your holiday season and not to the rest of the year. Do not focus on your lead capture. The goal for Black Friday, Cyber Monday is conversions. Gamifications, we actually saw that they had an 18.66% conversion rate in 2020 in comparison to the rest of the year when it's in the 30s or the 40s. So gamification, definitely don't want to do. You want to avoid anything that has multiple slides or multiple steps. Surprise shipping information. We talked about this a lot. Clearly state all of your shipping options. If you have a generic versus, your prime or whatever, make sure that that's all clearly stated and easy to find on your website. And finally, don't ignore your mobile traffic. 50.9% of shoppers are looking to shop on their phones this year. So make sure that you're testing and looking at all of your mobile traffic. Pro tip, website messaging made double the revenue pop-ups than forms made in 2020. So don't lead capture, only talk about your sales. Finally, keep your goals on top of mind. With all your strategies that you've outlined, always ask, how does this affect my goals for the holiday season? If your conversions or the promotions you're running leading towards conversions, it's to get more subscribers, ask yourself, are your promotions leading to that? Continue your conversion efforts through the holidays. After Cyber Week ends, what are you doing in December and 2020 to help increase conversions during that time? Just some quick ideas. Think about doing an incentive during December for those last minute shoppers, especially with shipping being the way it's going to be. If people are able to save money and say, I'll get it to you after Christmas, that is an option for late shoppers this year. Market to your current subscribers. Remember that those people are, and this isn't a pro tip, gift cards are the top looked for gift this year. So those people who are usually your shoppers on your site, frequent buyers, they're probably going to get a gift card for you this year. So make sure that you're marketing to them after the holiday season, after Christmas, to ask them to spend that money. New year, new you incentives. These are always really popular among beauty, fashion, and health brands, especially at the beginning of January when everyone says they're going to be healthy and work out. Try running a sale or some sort of incentive. Maybe it's a free gift or an ebook or anything like that. And then finally, your inventory clearance sales, something we always suggest when they are run, they are done very well. Just make sure that you're being very cognizant of what your inventory is like. And that's all I've got. We wish you the best luck. And if you do need extra help during the season, we are offering a holiday package this year. You can email sales@justuno.com and I'll drop that in the chat. And our sales team can figure out what might best fit your needs.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kelsey. That was great. Thank you for the speed as well. So we have about 6 minutes left. So I wanted to open this up. I have a few questions that were submitted earlier, but if you have any questions right now for any of the panelists at all, if you just want to hear their thoughts on anything Black Friday Cyber Monday related, anything at all, shoot it in the chat. But for now, I want
yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Michael, sorry.
Oh, no worries. No worries. So yeah, we had Casey earlier doing, I think it was a Bobby's presentation, wanted to know, is there a particular marketing channel that resonates with left versus right brain people? And
yeah,
so,
should I take that? Okay.
Yeah,
so that's a really good question. And I think most channels have the ability to really resonate with both, right? There's usually not one or two types of people that are on any given platform. I would say there are, like Pinterest, for example, would be somewhere where I would really expect a lot more right brain individuals, just because it is a creative platform. There's a lot more of like imagination and like creativity that's going into that platform naturally. So a lot of those users may be a little bit more right brain on the creative side. And then things like maybe Snapchat, and then of course TikTok is very, very creative as well. But I'm starting to see a lot of facts, a lot of logic being pushed through these different channels. So I really think Facebook, Google, Bing, and email, of course, being like those primary sort of, the main ones that can really be leveraged on both sides of both left brain right brain. And then I think Twitter would be probably the only one that I would assume would be a little bit more on the logic side.
Awesome. Thank you, Bobby. Casey, I hope that answered your question. That was really thorough. Yeah, and then other from the chat. Brett threw in a answer to the
I was just
chat.
responding to Amber. They're asking about the poll you ran and
Right.
where clients are spending when it comes to Facebook, and Facebook ads are still, I would say, one of the, Facebook ads, Google ads, Instagram ads. Those are the top three from my experience. But for influencer marketing in particular, Facebook isn't anywhere near as big of a category as Instagram would be. We see TikTok becoming more and more, like we see brands wanting to do TikTok, but very many of them don't quite know yet how to, or are still getting set up on it. But Instagram, as you guys saw from the poll, is by and far the top contender for influencer marketing.
Cool. Thanks, Brett. And then otherwise, so if you have any other questions, throw them in the chat, but I was curious, this goes to all panelists, but I was curious about the most surprising thing or stat you've seen or are seeing or expecting for this Black Friday Cyber Monday season, following a year like 2020. Obviously, 2020 is quite unique year. And so 2021 is still in that, that midsection. So I want to open this up to kind of anyone, just about the most interesting thing you've seen, or maybe most notable takeaway that the audience should take away. Anyone? Bueller?
I could throw a stat in there that's interesting when it comes to our customers. So most brands are not asking for Instagram handle yet, and it becomes like it's just a very novel idea. So nobody really knows what to expect. We've been finding that about 15% of the people who choose to give you their email address in a Justuno form or a form on your website will also opt to give you their Instagram handle as well. So maybe about 15% or so, give or take. And then you could put that on a two-step, or again post-purchase, etc. And then secondly, when they give you their handle, and this varies by industry, but we have some clients in the fashion space in particular that see about 40% of the handles they collect have over 1,000 followers each. So if you're in, based on your customer demographics, but if you are selling to a younger audience, you can get a really high number of people who have micro-influencer followings.
Cool, right on. And Brett, actually, unless any other questions come in, but how do you see TikTok factoring into the influencer space?
So we've rolled it out as our second channel that we're implementing into our platform this month. So we see it being a really big component, especially with larger brands, where people want to expand and they need more places than TikTok. We find it's been, or more than Instagram. From what we've heard, it's been a very successful platform to try out. So, if you're not using it now, there's very little risk to set one up and start playing around with it. What's cool about TikTok is you don't have to have a lot of followers to go viral. Their algorithms care more about the engagement, and then they'll blast it out, kind of like how Reels does it on Instagram.
Right. Cool. Thanks, Brett. Cool. I don't see any other questions coming in, unfortunately, and we're about a minute to the hour. So I just wanted to give a huge thanks to all of our panelists again today. Thank you so much for participating in the previous episodes of the Holiday Hustle series, and to all of our attendees. Please make sure you take advantage of those very generous offers they all presented. That's awesome, especially Scubanos. Get that $50. Take advantage. So yeah, thank you again, everyone. I'll be closing it out. If you have any questions at all, the recording of this will be sent out tomorrow morning, and send emails to all of our partners here. They're happy to help. They want to help. I mean, that's why they're here. So yeah, just take advantage, and thank you so much. So if everyone wants to say bye, we're good to go. Cool. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having us, Michael.
Yep. Have a great day.